All right, so my neighbor and their cat that like to destroy my screens out front are both gone. So I plan to replace all of my screen myself. So I haven't done this before, but it seems pretty straightforward. I've got my screen, the spline tool, the spline that they recommend on the roll of screen that I bought. They actually recommend a size. I would have thought that it had to do with the actual window frame. I guess we'll find out. And then all you'll need is a box cutter to cut the screen. So I'm gonna give this a whirl and I'll walk you through it. Got my helper here who's always very helpful with projects. What are you gonna do, Belle? It was your friend that did this, so I guess you should help, huh? All right, so here's the screen. This is the spline, this black thing here, and I'm going to use either a flathead or a Phillips screwdriver to try and just pry it out from the corner here. So we may even be able to reuse the spline. I bought new stuff, but if it feels dry rotted, I won't reuse it. No sense. It was only about 10 bucks for the 2 bags of the new spline. All right, let's give this a try. Let's try to pry this up. Well, it's pretty easy to get that corner started, and then it just pries right out of there. So this just holds the screen down into the frame. So the screen is not installed in like a permanent fashion. It's not glued. This is just like pushed into the groove, and it holds the screen taut. So this seems to be coming out really easily. All right, so here's Bella, helpful as always. I have my screen laid out. We like to save big pieces of cardboard just for things just like this. So this way I don't scratch anything up when I cut the screen to size. So, all right, measure twice, cut once. All right, I guess I'll show you this part too. I'm just peeling the screen out. It felt like it was almost glued in there. It's just probably never been changed most likely, but it just pulls out. And I'll use it to help guide me with my measuring, maybe if it holds its shape. But it feels like this is fiberglass, not aluminum. Yeah, it's fiberglass, so it's flexible. I went with fiberglass for the new stuff too. It says it's crystal clear. We'll see about that. So okay, anyway. Here's a little before. See all the rips there, all the rips there. These are the other windows I'm doing. I already took that one out. You're not going anywhere. You're helping me. Come on. Come on, you gotta get back to work. All right, we are officially in this now. Okay, so I got the screen out of the frame. I have the frame laid down on my rolled out screen, and I am just going to take a box cutter and cut right outside the frame of that. And then once we install it, we'll trim the excess. Okay, I have my screen cut to size, and now you take your spline tool and you take the sharp edge and you want to push the screen down into the groove in where your spline's going to go. So here goes nothing. It's fiberglass, so it kind of holds its shape, it looks like, as I'm pushing it in there. I want to make sure I have enough, so I don't want to have too much sticking out. How's that going? Okay, so far so good. Okay. We'll still have enough on the other end. It's not wanting to stay in there very well. Guess if you keep going over it, it kind of bends it a little bit more and keeps it in there. And so once you've got that down in the groove, then you get your spline and tuck it in with the other end of that tool. Okay, I've got my spline here, and I went with the new stuff because why not? I already bought it. The other stuff was a little on the dry side. So now you take the other end of the tool that's got the gap in it to kind of grab it and help you push it in there. And I'm hoping that this stuff even fits. It's what was suggested for the specific screen that I bought, but it looks a lot thicker than what was there before. So I don't know. a little worried about that. I might have to use the old stuff actually, because this is not wanting to fit. Maybe it is. I guess that's a good thing. You want it to be snug, right? So I'll work on this. All right, well, the spline that I bought is too thick, which I did suspect, but that is what the screen called for. So, you know, I thought it would have everything to do with the frame, and it seems like it does. So I'm just gonna reuse what I took out, and hopefully I can do that on all the windows. The front windows are east facing, so they get a lot more sun. So hopefully that works, or else I'm going back to the hardware store, which, you know, per usual, right, with any project. I'm just gonna show you how this is coming along. I'm pushing this spline back into the groove here to grab the screen. So I'm moving right along. I started with the right edge. I moved down to the bottom edge, and then I worked my way on the other side. And as I did the other side, I kind of tugged on the screen to try to keep everything nice and taut. Tugged on the screen while I pushed the screen down in, and then also tugged on it again as I did the spline into the groove as well. Okay, this one went pretty well. I've got all the screen in, and now I'm just trimming the excess with my box cutter. Just cleaning things up here. So now it's time to go pop it back in the frame and see how it looks. Okay, 1 down, 3 to go. Here's the new one and the old one. And the video just doesn't even do it justice. It looks so much better. I thought it would be much more complicated to get these out, but really you just kind of push on it and pull it out. So they're pretty flexible. Obviously you don't want to break it, but you just really kind of mess with it and push it out of the frame. Okay, the front windows are done now too, and I love it. I'd have to say that this was probably the simplest and most gratifying jobs I've done lately. Woohoo!